Voice killer number one is fear. Fear keeps the voice small and makes it tiny and keeps it tiny. So here's a little tip how to get rid of your fears. Hi folks, I'm Voba. I'm a singer and a vocal trainer, and this is my channel about anatomical vocal training and fear. Yes, today is all about fear because fear is the one thing that stops you from going where you want to go with your voice. It stops you obviously from going where you want to go with everything in your life, but with your voice, when we talk about vocal training, fear is a major factor. And it's deeper than you might think. It's not just about what other people think of you. Obviously, that's the most obvious thing, right? Oh, how will the people think about me when I sing that way now, or when I speak that way, or when I do these silly exercises with my tongue out? What will my colleagues think? What will my band members think? What will the people think about me? Now, this is an obvious fear that you have to rid yourself of in order to advance, because it's very obvious it stops you from advancing, because you will then think, maybe I shouldn't do these exercises so much. Maybe I shouldn't practice these sounds so much, because then I won't sound anymore the way I used to. You can always go back, you can always go back to sounding shitty or how you sounded before. Maybe it wasn't shitty, but however you sounded before, you can always go back, because this is something you have in your pocket already, right? What we're doing here is just learning more. Now, the fear of not being able to do things anymore, which is ridiculous, because you are here to do more than you can do, right? Not less. We want you to be more enabled to use your voice in more diverse ways rather than less. But the fear of what the people, your peers around you, will think about you when you change your voice, when you change the way you speak, when you do these exercises, is a major blocker that you need to get rid of. Now, here is how to overcome fear. You want to do one thing a day that you're socially afraid of. Now, I'm obviously not saying you should put yourself in situations where you are endangered socially, because that is not going to just rid you of fear when, then you're a victim of a hate crime because you wanted to be brave. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about little things, tiny things. You want to take tiny little baby steps first and expose yourself to things that you're afraid of. Telling somebody, oh, I don't think that's for me, when you always said, oh, thank you, and just threw whatever they gave you away after, you were gone out of their sight. Or saying no to something that you don't really want to do, or speaking your mind when it's about social justice, but with small things. Social justice stuff even can be small things, right? Don't start with the big things where this is going to get me in trouble and conflict. Start with the small things, but every single day do one thing where you're like, oh, I'm scared to do that. I feel physically in my body like I shouldn't do that, but I feel like I really, really want to do that also. Then do it. Do these little tiny things. Start with rather insignificant little things and observe your sensations. And this is the important part, right? When you do something that you're afraid of, observe what is happening in your body. What kind of sensations, not just feelings, feelings as sensations. There will be, because all of your emotions have an impact on your body. With the strong emotions, you feel it very, very easily. The fear with the neck, maybe like this, or the love in the chest, or anger in the belly, wherever you feel it, you will feel emotions physically. So when you do these things that you're afraid of, you need to focus on what your body does and says, right? Where do you feel, what kind of sensations in your body come up? And then you stay calm. You stay calm towards these sensations. And maybe there's a lot going on outside of you, but you focus at least 50%, if not 80 to 90% of your attention towards the inside, how you're feeling. And then staying calm with that sensation of fear rampaging in your body. Maybe it won't, right? Maybe it will just be like, oh, that was more easy than I thought. But especially when the fear comes up and you feel like, oh, this is exactly what I was afraid of, feel it physically as a physical sensation in your body, and then stay calm. Now, this is not just good for vocal training. Obviously, this is going to make you emotionally independent so much. But I'm using this for vocal training because we want our body to be relaxed. And we can only be relaxed and feel our body in situations even where we have fear. Maybe we even have stage fright. And we can only, perform well and use our body well and sing well when we are calm and relaxed and feel our body. So this feeling the body when some of these strong emotions, and fear can be a very strong emotion, when it comes up, physically feeling where does the fear sit in my body, and then being calm towards it, really, really will make a difference. Because then this is kind of like how you overcome the fear. You experience the fear and stay calm at the same time. Calm meaning relaxed, and a calm mind, and you just feel it. And if the people around you, they're like going nuts because of what you just said, you're like, oh, sorry, I'm practicing to get rid of my fear. That was really important for me to say that, because I felt like I can't do this, what you asked me to do, or what we usually do right now. And I am looking at the sensation that my fear brings up in my body right now. Literally just tell them, right? Because when you share it, it takes the power away from the fear and from anybody who's like, but why, it's like, no, I'm working on myself. I'm doing this self exploration, where I just have to do something every day that I'm afraid of, and then observe my bodily sensations and be calm with them. Feel my fear physically in my body and just be calm, and more calm whilst feeling it. And that's going to be a game changer. So if that gives you anything, please leave me a comment and tell me your experiences with fear and feeling fear in your body and staying calm when you feel it, because you will become stronger and stronger and stronger with that. And then you won't be a hostage to your fear ever again in your life, optimally. Leave me a like and a subscribe if you like the content, and I hope to see you around. Want to learn how to do these things that I talk about in my videos? YouTube is great, but a course with an actual methodology is the thing that will give you real results. I have a course called Vocal Foundation on my website. I created a free tour where you can learn the what, why, who, how, and the content, the benefits, the finances, prerequisites, everything about the course. So if you're eager to get your voice to the next level, follow the first link in the description and sign up for my Vocal Foundation free tour.